Hello, welcome. Welcome. This is our weekly show. Well, my weekly show, but you know what I mean. This is our weekly show where I go live to tell you, update you on news and happenings and the real estate market in Norman, Oklahoma. And you may have noticed that for the past month, I did not have any live shows at all. I was on vacation. Me and my husband did go to Vietnam for 3 weeks. And so we had a good time. And I didn't want to do any YouTube while I was gone. So I didn't. And plus, it would have been a really weird time zone situation. But we're back. And I'm so excited to start the new year with a brand new live. And today's live, we're going to be talking about a lot of different houses and some fun stuff and some real estate market update stuff. So let's jump into it. So if you have something to say, please drop it in the comments. If you have questions, I'd love to hear where you're watching from. If you're thinking of moving to Oklahoma, if you already live here, I'd love to hear all about why you're watching. That would make me really happy. So let me see here. Okay, cool. Awesome. So as you may have guessed, I am a real estate agent and I live and work mostly in Norman, Oklahoma, which happens to be in Cleveland County. So I say this right now, well, probably because like a lot of people don't know that Norman's in Cleveland County, but I was reading this article earlier today and it was the 10 most expensive houses that sold in Oklahoma County. So if you don't know, Oklahoma County is where Oklahoma City is located. And that's great. And that's fine. And I'm sure it was cool. And I work a lot in Oklahoma County. Oklahoma County has a ton of houses, but I live in Cleveland County. So I wanted to look up the top 10 or like the 10 most expensive houses that sold last year in Cleveland County. And I wanted to show those to you. And then we're going to jump into the real estate market update. So that's what we're doing this show. So let's get into it. All right. Oh, I was going to say, so if you want to see any of like the footage that I took from Vietnam, I have like a bunch of really short videos. They're all like a minute or less. You can find that in the description. I linked it in this video. So that way you can see those if you wanted to. Totally up to you. All right, guys. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. Cool. I'm going to present. My brain like stopped for a second. We've been back a week and I'm like sleeping pretty good, you know, but still sometimes you want to wake up at 2 a.m. It's a 13-hour time difference. So I think we've been back a week. Yeah, it's a week today. It's a week today that we've been back. So I'm going to bring this up here for you. All right, cool. Good evening. Hey, James. Nice to see you. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate that. All right. So what I did with these houses that I have pulled up for you here, and I know it looks a little funky on your end, maybe. Let me see. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Maybe. You're going to see the pictures. I'll bring them up a little bit bigger. So I did these like number 10 to number 1. I'm not going to bore you with all the photos of every single one of these. I wrote down my favorite thing about these houses. And you can see the address and stuff and kind of know where they are. But this helps you get an idea of where these things are too, which I think helps you learn about Oklahoma and about the Oklahoma City Metro. So one thing that I've mentioned before in a lot of my videos, and some people maybe don't realize, is that Cleveland County, so Oklahoma City is in several counties. It's not just Oklahoma County, as many cities around the U.S. are. So Cleveland County is a part of Oklahoma City. The top part of it is, so the northern part. So one thing I tell people, and it's hard to like realize it, is if you live in Cleveland County and you have an Oklahoma City address, then you live in Moore School District, not in Oklahoma City School District. Okay. So this house, this is number 10. It sold for $1 million. It's in Rivendell. Rivendell is I think it's gated, or at least half of it's gated. And I can show you here on the map. I can't really show you here on the map because it's not letting me show it to you, but that's fine. But it's in Southwest Oklahoma City and still in Cleveland County. This sold for $1 million. And I wrote down that I loved, and this is in like the new section of Rivendell. And yes, it is from Lord of the Rings. And all of the streets, to my knowledge, are named from Lord of the Rings. 100%. So what I wrote in here is that I liked, and I'm going to scroll through some of these photos super fast. So if you like these, you're going to have to go back and look at them on Zillow or something, because yeah, I can't go through all of this stuff. I wrote down that I loved the master or the primary bathroom. So you can see the shower, and on this one, how cool it is. I loved the tub. I love the marble floors. This was such a cool space and how they did it. It's kind of classic and like, I don't know, like also very updated and very modern. Very cool tub. So that's what I loved about this one. And of course, if you like something about these houses, like go ahead and drop it in the comments for me. That'd be amazing. Thank you. All right, number 2 was this one in Rustic Trails. So this one's in Moore. And I wrote down that I really liked the kitchen in this house. I drive by this house all the time because it's the easiest way for me to get to Moore from my house. So I'm going to show you. There it is. So there's the kitchen on this one. It's very white, but I really like the island and like the space that it provides. And I'm seeing a lot more of this in brand new houses. And this one is a brand new house. And I know a lot of people will probably also say they really like those beams because those are really nice. So that one was $1.2 million. And then we have this one on Windrush Circles. This is a 6-bedroom, an older house, 1998, 6,000 square feet. And it sold for $1.2 million. And I wrote down that I really like the pool. So I'm just going to scroll to the back here on the pool. Yeah, it did. Oh my gosh, I did not see the polka dots. I must have... They must have put the pool at the beginning because I like scrolled backwards through this. Oh, it has 2 islands. It's a very big thing right now to have 2 islands. I'm not really sure if I like it yet. There it is. I found it. So that's the pool. I do really like it. I like the way that they have the landscaping around it. And I think this one backs up. Yeah. So it backs up to probably 36th maybe or 48th. You can see like in Brookhaven where this is, they have like this big fence. So it's probably like a little bit loud, but not too bad. A lot of these homes in here, which I used to live in this neighborhood, like in the next street over, not in a 6,000 square foot house, because anyway, a lot of these houses have some really cool pools on them that I've seen. I've been to some really cool ones. So yeah. All right. The next one is Flint Ridge, and the one after that is also Flint Ridge, which are really close to this Windrush house. So this area is called Manor Hill. It's Brookhaven in Norman, which is in West Norman. I went the wrong direction. There we go. And I wrote down that I really liked the study on this one. It's a little bit older for me. Lots of space in the garage, obviously. Have I been in this house? It's possible. Sometimes I forget which ones I've been to. No, I don't think I've been in this one. But I really like that waterfall. That's pretty. That's a cool waterfall. I like that. Outdoor kitchen, big green egg. I said I really liked the study in this house. So you notice how fast I scroll through. So this is how fast all realtors scroll through photos. This is what we do all day long. There it is. I like the study, but I don't like that there's cabinets. I would want bookshelves, but that's just me. Okay. The next one on Flint Ridge. Let's see here. Was this one, and I wrote that I liked the floors in the living. So here's the thing. I really didn't like this house very much, but it does have a really interesting backyard. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. But I did say that I liked the floors in the living room because I like how natural they look. And in some of these houses, the floors don't look natural. And I'm not sure that that's going to pay off later on. It's a very traditional house, which is fine. They've updated like the countertops and stuff, and it looks cool. I don't know. Oh, what kind of stove is that? It's a Jenner. Oh, I've never seen one that was that big in person. So I really love these floors in the living room because of how natural they look. Like, I think it was just such a perfect choice for this house. Okay. I have another one here, and it is 1916 Whispering Pines. This might be my favorite one of the entire list, and the reason is because it's mid-century, and I'm a mid-century girl. I love mid-century stuff, and it's just a really cool house. I don't care that it has a pool, whatever. Pools don't bother me, but this was a very beautiful home, and I just love mid-century style. So that's always going to be my favorite. Oh, all of my furniture would look so good in here. Okay. So that one is also it should be in West Norman. Yes. Okay. So next we had this house. I wasn't a huge fan of this house either, but it has a pool house. You can see it right here. It also has a disconnected garage, I believe is what this is over here. So the pool house, I think, really made this house. So this house is on Southeast 19th, and I believe it was on a bit of acreage. Yeah, it was on 5 acres. So all of these homes that I pulled were under 10 acres, except for the number one spot, which is on 50 acres. So it did do that. All right, I'm going to go on to the next one so we don't run out of time. This house is my favorite for the outside of it. So I used to walk by this house almost every single day, especially during COVID, because when I lived a few streets over, I would walk by here and I felt like I was in a different country because it has that kind of English cottage style. So the outside of it was definitely my favorite. And one of my friends that I work with at my office actually got to sell this. So that was really cool. The inside, I was not a huge fan of, but the outside is so pretty. It's so pretty. Okay. All right. And then we have 2 more. So this is number 2. This one's also in Rivendell. So this one is also in that neighborhood that's like about Lord of the Rings or whatever. So this one's by the lake. There is a lake in Rivendell. I don't know if there's really a lake in Rivendell in, Lord of the Rings world. This is a very classic house. It kind of feels like it looks and feels like a castle to me. The openness of it, like very classical traditional house, which makes sense in this neighborhood because that's mostly what I see whenever I show homes in this neighborhood in Southwest Oklahoma City. All right, so you ready for the number 1? This is number 1. And this first picture is kind of weird because all I can see is the tree. But it sold for $2.5 million. It is 8,800 square feet. And it's 50 acres. And it's a ranch, is what they say. So it has a second home also at the front, which is 1,600 square feet. Dang. Yeah, that's awesome. It's so it's your own compound, right? Your homestead, like an extended homestead. And this one also has a Morton barn on it. I was scared whenever I saw the outside, but the inside is pretty nice. Like, I do like it. And then the views are pretty good because it's 50 acres. Like, it makes sense, right? So it's redone. It's remodeled because this is an older house. Otherwise, it wouldn't look quite this good. So it has hand scraped wood floors, it looks like. And this is like the expanse, right, of this house. Looks like they may have taken out a wall or two, but there's definitely tons of space to have the entire family there with you, living with you if you so desire. Like, gorgeous home. Definitely an amazing spot to have horses, whatever you need. Okay. So I thought this was a really cool house, but it was the most expensive house that sold in Cleveland County last year for $2.5 million. Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about the real estate market. And 2024 is over now. Let me just check there we go. 2024 is over. No, 2023 is over now. And what we have, I'm going to bring this up. Stop screen. Oops. Don't want to do that. Present. Share screen. You guys talk to yourself? I talk to myself a lot. Cool. Here we go. Okay, so I have some notes on the real estate market in general. Is this the number one question that I get from people? 100%. How's the real estate market? It's great. You know what would have been even better if I would have bought a house in 2006 before the recession, except that I was 17 years old, so that probably wasn't going to work. Timing the market is what I hear that what people want to do, and I understand that because you want to get the best possible deal, and it's just not always possible to do that. So negotiating is the best way to get yourself the best deal typically. But I want to look at the micro market, which is the Oklahoma City market. I'm not talking about the whole of the US. I just want to look at some numbers with you to show you what I'm seeing and what I think is going to happen. Okay. If you have questions, just tell me. So the first thing that I have here is talking about the median and average sales price. You can see this graph. It pops up with these little data points as I drag my mouse across it. So these are different months. So the month that it just, that just ended, of course, was December 2023. And this says that our average sales price in the Oklahoma City metro, which it goes outside of the Oklahoma City metro, is $287,900. That's the average. And then what I'm looking at as a professional, as someone who wants, to buy more houses or if I'm going to buy a house to live in it, which typically you're going to do that for more than 2 or 3 years, I'm going to go back to 2018 and 2019 and look at these numbers. Okay, so the average sales price for 2018 in the Oklahoma City metro was $185,000. Was 5 years ago. That means that the numbers are trending up. And to see them go down below that, they almost went down below that in the next year, but you probably would have still been living in your house. Most people are going to be living in their house more than 2 or 3 years. We say the average for people is normally 7. I want you to see the big picture, because fixating on getting the best possible deal is it may mean that you won't have a house to live in when you actually want a house to live in. You have to think of the bigger picture, is what I'm saying here. So one of the things that I try to point out to people, and it's really hard to see this because you can't zoom out in your mind's eye a lot of the time. So in January of 2020, our average sales price was $198,000. Okay. By December 2020, it was $233,000. By December of 2021, it was $266,000. Why I'm saying this is these jumps are huge. We are talking more than we're talking $70,000 jumps over 2 years. Where if we go back and look at January of 2018, it was 188. And then we look at January of 2019, it was 197. That it's less than $10,000, the jump in the average price point. The amount of equity people gained from 2020 to 2022, like February 22 is when the market was like, that was like the high point, right? The amount that people gained in that time, that was 20 years of equity. It was 20 years, like essentially, especially for Oklahoma. Like I may be exaggerating with the 20 years a little bit, but you have to think of it like that. Anyway, moving on, median sales price. So I go back and forth between median and average sales price because it can be very similar. So like our median price, which, I'm going to have a really hard time explaining this, but a median is like whenever you see how many times it like repeats in the middle. A median is more indicative of what the average person is doing versus the average. I used the average there twice versus the average. Anyway, if you don't know what median is, go look it up. I like median better because I think it makes more sense. So the average in December of 2023 was 287. Yeah, it's a big jump in 5 years. I agree with you, James. It was a very big jump in 5 years. It's incredible. It's incredible. And we see that with Oklahoma, that we have a constant trending up. And part of that is because we don't have enough homes for sale in the market. Okay. That is one of the biggest reasons. And we have people wanting to come and live here, which is great. But understand that, this price is really going up a lot. Okay. So then I'm going to show you the same thing. So January of 2020, our median sales price was $170,000. In December of 2020, it was $200,000, $30,000 jump. $30,000. That's a big deal. Like we had not seen this as real estate professionals. It was like very jarring to us. And then we have, 2021, the price was 200,000. It was the same month. Essentially, I'm just showing you to go to December of 2021. Where is it? It was 221,890. That is a $22,000 jump in our median sales price. It is a lot. That's why I'm saying you gained a lot of equity during that time where people, if you didn't own a house, I'm sorry if you didn't, people gained a lot of equity during that time. Okay. Next one that I have here is new listings. So we're looking at the number of new listings that have come on the market. This is a fun one because it just looks like a heartbeat, right? Okay, so what I'm trying to see here, like what I'm looking at is I'm going to look at the low point, which is December 2021, 1,800, I just round, 1,900 listings. 1,900 new listings came on the market in December 2021. December 2023, last month, 1,900 new listings came on the market in the Oklahoma City metro. Same number of listings came on the market in both months. In December of 2021, no one could find a house to buy because it was nutty. It was hard. Like you were competing against multiple people for the same house. And in December of 2023, which was last month, could get you a pretty good deal on a house, meaning some money off the list price, etc. And then I want to go back just for a second to like December of 2018. Only 1,500 homes came on the market. And in that time too, we felt the market heating up quite a bit. It's the low points because then you see a correlation. But anyway, home sales or homes for sale. I'm sorry. So this is different. How? Well, new listings are listings that just came on the market. It doesn't mean they sold. Homes for sale is the total amount. It's a cumulative number, right? So it could be all the homes that went on the market in October, November, December, all the ones that haven't sold yet. So this one's really easy to look at. I like this much better. It looks less like heartbeat and more like yes, this is like indicative of my real estate career here. So we can see, let's go back to January 2020. We had 4,800 homes for sale on the market. And we go October. Whew, that's where we felt it, right? So we went from January 2020, 4,800 homes, all the way down to October of 2020, 3,600 homes. It's almost 1,000 home drop. And that's one of the reasons prices went up so quickly. And then they go down even more, or this number goes down to March of 2021, 2,300 homes for sale on the market, 2,300 homes for sale on the market in that spring of 2021 when interest rates were ridiculously low, like 2.8, 2.9%. And then they went up a little bit that summer, which was really good. And then February 2022, not very many homes for sale. And the thing is, the market was still hot, like buyers were still having to compete, but interest rates were going up at this point. They were going up pretty steadily. No, that was the end of 22. I apologize. I was lying. I keep forgetting what year this is. So where we see the interest rates going up quite a bit is going to be right around here. And we see more homes for sale on the market. About November of 22. Yes, November of 22 is when we see interest rates start going up. Home prices or home sales drop again. That's indicative of interest rates, etc. So that's April 23. And we can see the sales price $250,000. Yeah. We're still up from that a little bit, from $250,000. Homes for sale. So now we're at sort of this higher rate. So 6,000 homes for sale in the Oklahoma City metro, down to 5,600 for December. Less people do put their homes on the market in the winter. Typically, it just depends on what kind of home you're looking at. But I go back, right? Because I can see this whole dip here. I can see like November of 2023, 6,000 homes on the market. July of 2018, see if you can think back and remember where you were at that point, 6,400 homes for sale on the market. And that was still kind of a slower market, but it was still a really good market, especially bouncing back from like how bad the market was here in 2012 and 2013 from the recession. This for me, when I look at this, it gives me perspective, right? Because right now the market kind of feels bad. It feels like homes are moving too slowly. And that's where I go over here and look at days on market. And I see in February 2018, our average days on market was 43 days, which we thought was totally normal and pretty dang good. And right now, our average days on market is 23 days, and people are freaking out if their homes don't sell quickly. But you have to look at it in the perspective. We had these years of COVID where like things just didn't make sense. And it was because really the interest rates were really low, and we just don't have that again. So in my mind, looking at these average days on market, we have a really, really great market compared to how I entered the real estate market, which I started in 2017, not 2018, but with 43 days on the market. Like it was kind of hard to sell a house, and it can feel kind of hard to sell a house right now too. So just know that. Okay. Month supply is the last one that we're going to, we're going to look at percent of list price too. So this is month supply. All this means is if no other homes went on the market today, how long would it take the homes that are already for sale to actually sell? And it's literally a supply conversation. So we just see this big dip. So we go from July of 2018 with 3 months, 3+ months of homes for sale in the market. 3 months. So a balanced market where it's like, buyers and sellers are balanced. Like, because right now with 3 months it seems like a long time, but it's really a seller's market still, meaning that sellers hold the power. Like you're not getting $50,000 off of a $250,000 house. That's not how it works. And we went all the way down here in March of 21 to less than a month of inventory on the market, which I call an extreme seller's market, where sellers hold almost all of the power. The dip, the final dip, I'm always going to say it, was February of 2022. That was 0.8, and that was the strongest market in terms of like being a seller's market that we've seen. And then right now, we're at 2.9 months inventory on the market. And because interest rates now have dropped to mostly sub 7, meaning, 6.8, and that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I'm not a lender, so go talk to a lender, please. But mostly they're sub 7, which means that people can afford more in their monthly payment. That's what that means. So as prices go down, as interest rates go down, price for money, as prices go down for money, the interest rates go down. Will we see home prices increase? My expectation is that we're actually going to see just the normal upward trend of, an appreciation of home prices. Like what we saw in this 2020 realm right here, it's not normal. Like this is normal. It's like instead of this, it's going to look like this. That's all I'm saying. So is right now the best time to buy a house for you? Maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe you need a house. Maybe your finances are where you want them to be. You can't go back on the home price. You can go back on the home rate, but only if that makes you feel comfortable. So hopefully this conversation made some sense to you. If you are needing to purchase a house here in Oklahoma, in the Oklahoma City Metro, I would love it if you gave me a call. So that way we can chat it out some more and we can see, what you need specifically. And we'll see what we can do to get you into a house. If it's not the right time for you, it's not the right time. And that's okay too. So yeah, I hope this conversation was super helpful. And I do a conversation like this, usually less numbers, less real estate market, less me rambling on, every week, every Tuesday at 6:30 Central. So I will see you guys next week. Thanks so much for tuning in.